Content marketing is one of the biggest themes probably in today's marketing media.
Do we feed that or do we fight it? I came across a stat recently that only 38% of brands have a content strategy in place. So maybe that explains why a lot of content doesn't really hit the mark. By 2020, Cisco says that we'll have 50 billion things connected to the internet. And we'll be exchanging a staggering 40 billion terabytes of data.
We had to create a content strategy that actually featured our 60+ Virgin companies. I picked up the phone and I spoke to Niels at Beyond. And if we can find those rich conversations around our brand and we insert relevant content in there, it means that people are more likely to engage with it and also more likely to share that content. When you do get a bit scientific about your content strategy, actually can really help to guide and help you refine. I suppose what I would say is, though, don't kill creativity in the process.
It's not about quantity of time, it's about quality of engagement. Trust is the prime measure. The context of trust is changing really quite rapidly. 10 years ago, we were the 9th biggest newspaper in the UK. So to be the 3rd biggest in the world really is something that we're very proud of. And I think, that comes down to this relationship of trust.
And then about 3 years ago, we had this insight, or this realization, that actually media was changing, and maybe we could take some of the things we'd learned from the funny stuff, nostalgic stuff, the kind of very web things, to start doing serious news. And you need to worry about distribution. You need to worry a lot about getting your stuff to people. Consumers just aren't really going to destinations anymore. They're waking up and they're looking at their phone and they're seeing what their friends are talking about on Facebook. They're seeing what their friends are talking about on Instagram, and then they're going on a journey from there. So they're just not going to homepages anymore. They're going to individual pieces of content. That means you've got to think about why people would share. It's not good enough to just think about what you want to communicate.
The people that you need to look to for brand publishing on YouTube for secrets of success are YouTubers. It's the guys who are building these incredibly engaged audiences, and brands have a huge amount to learn from them. Zoella, who is the UK's biggest YouTuber in terms of beauty and fashion vlogging, her subscriber base outstrips the combined circulation of Vogue, Glamour, Cosmopolitan and Grazia. They don't do campaigns. They have no sense of campaigning whatsoever. Every bit of content they're putting out there is about winning the next 100 subscribers. And they're in it for the long haul. The ecosystem on YouTube is really different. If you don't collaborate on YouTube, that works to your detriment. If you can really find your voice, understand who you're talking to, you can make stuff that really wins. And I don't think there is any better piece of evidence than that. For one whole month last year, Volvo Trucks was more searched for than Great Sex.
I have a relatively dull brand, so surely there's no role for me as a publisher.
I would very much challenge that. So we see a lot of everyday, dull brands doing quite fantastic stuff on YouTube, actually.
How do I kind of gain trust as a brand? Haven't I got a bit of a hill to climb?
Yes, I think that's true. And I think the reason I wanted to highlight YouTubers is, it's the ultimate kind of course these guys have big, massive subscriber bases. They're not brands, but they kind of are. But they have that very authentic, direct relationship.
Doesn't work when you produce content that is masquerading as something else.
How do you be authentic when you're a big brand and you have a huge, sign-off process, or who actually owns the voice in a big company?
But we also have every month a creative council, which is in effect council that where we discuss performance, but we also look at how we can strategically move our content forward.
Do I have to make a commitment to just having a ton of stuff coming? Is that a kind of not a big issue for me as a brand owner?
As daunting as it might sound, yeah, I think the age of kind of campaigns is hopefully over.
The conversations we constantly have with agencies and with marketers is how the hell do we set ourselves up for this? You're telling me I have to post 2 videos a week and do hero content and hygiene content, and throw a few bits of episodic content in as well. Where is this stuff coming from? I think it's a very real, completely rational concern.